I nearly lost my independence over a habit I thought was harmless. And my doctor said 90% of men over 70 are doing the same thing every single morning. That one sentence hit me harder than any diagnosis I'd ever heard. Not because it was loud or dramatic, but because it was true, and I had no idea. You see, most of us men, once we cross 70, believe that the dangers we need to avoid are big and obvious: heart attacks, strokes, cancer. But what no one tells us is that the things silently cutting our years short are often tiny daily choices, the habits we don't question, the things we've done the same way for decades. They sneak up on us. One small misstep, and suddenly we're in a hospital bed, wondering if we'll ever walk unassisted again. Today, I'm going to tell you the 4 things doctors are urging men over 70 to stop doing immediately. Not next year, not when it's convenient, now. Because these aren't just bad habits. They are traps, and the longer we stay in them, the more they rob us of our strength, our clarity, and our ability to live independently. If you care about your future or someone you love, don't miss this. And if you find value in honest, practical health advice like this, please hit the subscribe button. It helps this channel stay alive so we can keep bringing you stories that truly matter. Now, before we begin, here's something to think about. Question: which risk scares you more? A. Slowly losing independence without realizing it. B. Sudden illness that changes your life overnight. Comment A or B below and read what others are saying too. Because the first habit we're about to uncover might be one you did just this morning. There's one habit nearly every man over 70 has done without thinking. And it's one of the most dangerous. Not because it feels risky, but precisely because it doesn't. It's the simple act of standing up too quickly in the morning. When we wake up, our mind often races before our body does. We think of the bathroom, the to-do list, maybe even the smell of coffee. So we sit up fast, swing our legs out, and push ourselves upright. But what's happening inside our body at that moment is something far more delicate. After a night of sleep, your blood pressure is at its lowest, your heart rate is slower, and your blood has settled in your lower body. If you suddenly go from lying down to standing up, your brain doesn't receive enough blood flow fast enough. That leads to a drop in oxygen, a wave of dizziness, and in far too many cases, a fall. The CDC reports that falls are the #1 cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries for older adults. And one of the most common times these falls occur within the first hour of waking. But it's not just about falling. That sudden head rush, the off-balance feeling, the momentary blackout, those are signs your body is struggling to stabilize. And if your muscles or joints are stiff from arthritis or aging, your chances of recovering from a stumble are even lower. Doctors call this orthostatic hypotension, and it becomes more common and more dangerous with age. The fix is incredibly simple. Before you move, give your body a moment. When you first wake up, stay lying down for about 15 seconds. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Then roll slowly to your side. Sit up gradually. Let your feet touch the floor. And breathe. Give your body time to catch up to your thoughts. This 1-minute change in your routine can dramatically reduce your risk of injury and start your day with intention, not instinct. You don't need perfect balance or gym-level fitness to stay safe. You need patience and presence. If you've ever felt even a little lightheaded getting out of bed, don't ignore it. That's not just getting older. That's your body warning you gently while it still can. There's something about growing older that makes us believe we know our bodies better than anyone else. And in many ways, we do. But that confidence can become dangerous when it leads us to change or stop our medications without professional guidance. I've known more than a few men who skipped their pills because they felt fine. Some cut their dosage in half to save money. Others stopped completely after reading an article or hearing something from a friend. No consultation, no follow-up. But feeling fine doesn't mean your condition is gone. It often means the medication is working. According to Harvard Health, nearly half of adults over 65 take 5 or more prescriptions. That's a lot of pills and even more room for confusion, especially when different doctors prescribe different things. But the greater danger isn't the number of medications. It's the decisions we make in isolation. Our organs, especially the liver and kidneys, don't process medications the same way they did at 40. A slight overdose can build up over time, causing serious harm. On the flip side, underdosing or skipping meds can allow chronic conditions like high blood pressure, atrial fibrillation, or diabetes to spiral out of control, often silently. And then, one day, something sudden happens: a stroke, a heart episode, a fall triggered by dizziness. And we wonder, where did that come from? The answer is often simple. It came from a habit of self-adjustment made without the full picture. The solution isn't more fear, it's better systems. Use a pill organizer to keep track. Create a written list of every medication you take, including over-the-counter supplements, and bring it to every appointment. And most importantly, if you feel tempted to change a dose, talk to your doctor first. Just one phone call can prevent a hospital visit. Staying in control of your health doesn't mean going it alone. It means building a team and trusting the people trained to help you navigate safely. Your medication routine isn't a suggestion. It's a carefully designed plan to protect your heart, your brain, and your independence. One of the most overlooked threats to senior health happens within the first hour of waking up. And most men don't realize it's harming them until it's too late. It's skipping water in the morning. Not because we're lazy. Most of the time, it's intentional. We avoid drinking water to prevent frequent trips to the bathroom. Nobody wants to deal with urgency, incontinence, or interrupted routines. So we drink less, especially in the morning, thinking we're solving a problem. But we're actually creating a much bigger one. After 7 to 8 hours of sleep, the body is in a mild state of dehydration. Our blood becomes slightly thicker, our circulation slows, and the heart has to work harder to pump oxygen to vital organs. This is one reason heart attacks and strokes are more common in the early hours of the day. Mayo Clinic and the American Heart Association both emphasize the importance of hydration, especially for older adults. Just 8 to 10 ounces of water within 30 minutes of waking can reduce blood viscosity, improve kidney filtration, and support brain clarity. And yet many of us reach for coffee first. Coffee, while comforting, is a diuretic. It further dehydrates the body if consumed before water. It also stimulates the bladder before your system has had a chance to stabilize. Choosing to drink water first isn't about following a health trend. It's about giving your body the basic tools it needs to function. Hydration in the morning primes your digestion, protects your kidneys, helps regulate blood pressure, and can even improve joint flexibility. It's one of the simplest, most affordable, and most powerful habits you can adopt. and it takes less than a minute. Here's what I've started doing. I keep a glass of room temperature water on my nightstand. The moment I sit up, I take slow sips. It doesn't have to be chugged or forced, just consistent. And then I give my body 10 to 15 minutes before drinking anything else. If you're worried about bladder control, talk to your doctor about managing it properly. But don't sacrifice your heart and brain to avoid the bathroom. Skipping water might feel like a small compromise, but over time, it quietly drains the systems you depend on most. There's a habit many older men consider harmless, even practical. We hold it in. We delay going to the bathroom, telling ourselves we're too busy, we'll go later, or we don't want to interrupt what we're doing. It becomes automatic, a sign of discipline, even strength. But inside the body, something entirely different is happening. When you ignore the urge to urinate, pressure builds in the bladder. Over time, this can overstretch the bladder wall, weaken the muscles that help control urination, and lead to retention problems. For men over 70, this is especially risky due to age-related prostate enlargement. The prostate sits just below the bladder, and as it enlarges, it can press against the urethra, narrowing the passage. When you regularly hold in urine, the added strain makes this condition worse, increasing the risk of urinary tract infections, bladder stones, and in severe cases, total urinary blockage. That's not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. I've spoken to men who ended up needing a catheter, a tube inserted to relieve the pressure, because they ignored the early warning signs. Not because they were careless, but because they didn't know that waiting too long could damage the system permanently. There's also the hidden risk of confusion. When waste builds up in the body, especially in those with kidney or prostate issues, it can lead to toxic byproducts in the blood. This affects cognitive function, energy, and overall well-being. The solution is not complex. It's about paying attention. When your body signals the need to go, listen. Don't wait for discomfort or urgency to build. Don't normalize holding it in during TV shows, phone calls, or car rides. And if the urge comes more frequently than it used to, that's not just aging. It might be a sign your bladder or prostate needs evaluation. Train yourself to respond early, not late. In a life where so many things are outside our control, honoring a basic biological signal is a simple act of self-respect. And for men in our stage of life, it's one of the smartest, quietest ways to protect the freedom we value most, our independence. We often think that the things that threaten our health will come with loud warnings, sharp pain, dramatic symptoms, urgent diagnoses. But more often than not, what really takes our strength away are the quiet things, the things we do every single day without even noticing. Getting out of bed too fast, skipping a glass of water, holding in our bladder, adjusting our medication without asking. None of them feel dangerous in the moment, but over time they chip away at our balance, our clarity, and our ability to live on our own terms. And that's the deeper lesson here, not just about health, but about how we age. Aging well isn't about avoiding every risk. It's about recognizing that our bodies are changing and responding with wisdom instead of habit. It's about staying curious, not stubborn. And it's about doing the small things consistently that add up to something big: independence, dignity, and the ability to live life with energy and purpose. So what can you do starting tomorrow? Start by choosing just one of these 4 habits to change. Maybe you'll slow down before standing up. Maybe you'll commit to drinking that glass of water first thing. Maybe you'll review your medications with your doctor next visit. These aren't grand gestures, they're quiet decisions that speak volumes about how much you value your life. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be willing. Because after 70, real strength isn't how much you can lift. It's how willing you are to adjust, listen, and protect what matters most. Here's a question I'd love for you to answer in the comments below. Which of the 4 habits felt most familiar to you, and which one are you planning to change first? Your story might inspire someone else, and in a world where so many seniors feel invisible, just one comment can remind us that we're still walking this journey together. If this video gave you something to think about, I invite you to subscribe. Not because numbers matter, but because connection does. And if you'd like to support the channel, feel free to donate a small amount to help us keep creating content for older adults who deserve better health, better answers, and better days. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.